I'll just talk a little bit about the solstice, and then we'll drop into our meditation. Many cultures have stories and practices at this time of year about rebirth of kings, rebirth of gods. We see it in the Christian tradition, the Son, S-O-N, of God. And it's all about the return of the S-U-N, Son, at this time of year, because tomorrow is the longest night. So we'll have the shortest day, the longest night, the darkest day of the year. But then starting the day after tomorrow, the sun returns and the days begin to grow in length. So this time then, this particular day and tomorrow also are real times of dropping into the stillness, the real rich creative dark, our own inner wisdom, listening for that, and appreciating a still point before the next cycle is underway. But it's also a real time of hope, right? Because we know the promise is always fulfilled. The sun always returns, always. So I'm just going to invite us. You can mute if you want. You can turn your screens off or on, whatever you prefer. And we'll just begin, starting with our bodies right here in this present moment. So find yourself getting comfortable. You might move your neck a little bit. Stretch your shoulders if that feels good. Wiggle your hips. Really, really fully come into your body on this morning after you've had a night of sleep. And just begin to follow your breath. And imagine all of us together. Because we are. We don't even have to imagine it. We are together now and later in the recordings when we listen to this gathered group of souls, this community that honors the rhythm of the year, the cycle of nature, the power of earth and sky, and all of their inhabitants, including us. We are part of an interconnected web of life. Utterly dependent on each other and all of life, and completely committed to the flourishing of all. So feel us at the trailhead on a chilly winter morning, on the day before the longest night, which is really perfect timing so we can really enjoy and drop into the stillness. And here we are in this setting of pine trees. And here we are with our feet beneath us. And feel us quietly, silently beginning to journey, maybe today in pairs, because the path's a little wider today. And side by side, 2 by 2, we feel our feet moving crunching in the snow. Using your spiritual imagination, you may hear birds, perhaps a blue jay, cawing, or a hawk whistling. You might hear the creaking of the pines in the soft wind. We travel together until we reach the end of the trail and see that it opens into a clearing, a sacred grove of trees that beckons us in, calls for us to join in the circle. And so find yourself entering into that space, noticing whether a particular tree calls to you. And if it does, thank you, thank it for the invitation, and maybe you are called to one. Wherever the invitation has come from, join with the tree and using your sense of touch and your spiritual imagination, touch the bark. Feel its roughness. Notice its details, the patterns, the lines, the texture. And find yourself turning around and leaning against this tree, thanking it for its life. And breathe in the crisp, cool air. Smell the scent or the tang of pine. And if it feels right, drop your grounding cord right down into the earth and let your grounding cord join with the roots of the tree. And imagine all those roots underground and our grounding cords combined, communicating, connecting with each other, grounding us. Feel yourself in the darkness in these trees with just the stars shining and maybe a little bit of moonlight. And take your place, occupy this place, this darkest place in the year. Find the stillness. Rest in the stillness. You bring to mind anything that is burdening you. We know that our ancestors were worried at this time of year that the sun might not come back. Before they knew, way back 5,000, 6,000 years ago, they weren't sure. It was a time of uncertainty. Starvation and disease were common during the cold and barren winter months. We know life is both joy and sorrow. That is the nature. So bring to mind anything that is bringing you sorrow or worry or concern. And you might just imagine saying hello to it. Hello, worry, my old friend. You might notice where it is in your body. And just put your hands there. Might be grief, might be worry, fear, sadness, longing. Just place your hands where you're feeling any of that, knowing it's okay. Hold your emotions with love. Let the darkness have its rightful place, acknowledging its importance. Feel yourself surrounded in love. And begin to feel Earth's energy rising up through the bottom of your feet, the great Mother Earth. And let her energy flow right to that place in your body. You might feel it as a warm energy or a soft pulsing. You might see it as green. Or you might just feel your hands right there in that place in your body. There's a celestial dance happening above our heads. And the sky begins to lighten. And the first sunbeams of the day break on the horizon. Now imagine those gentle rays of light shining through the trees, filling our whole circle with light. And moving right into that place in your body. Let the sunlight enter you. Join with earth energy and imagine them and that energy bouncing off of every internal surface like little angels. Let the light move into every nook and cranny of you. Concentrating itself along the way, and you may want to start at the top of your head. Let it flow into your forehead. Universal life force energy and the power of light, sun. Let it flow into your throat. No stagnant energy can remain where this light flows. So it's just moving energy. Anything that's stagnant or blocking, let that sunlight flow down into your heart center now. Feel it just radiating out from the heart center, again, like little angels, rays of light. And then let it drop down into your solar plexus. Clearing, healing, harmonizing light. Down into your belly, your womb space. Just notice the universal life force energy, the power of light, moving, healing, balancing. Down into your root chakra, the base of your spine. Knowing that this light is constant, always accessible. And let it move down your legs, into your feet and out your toes. Letting it move into, again, every nook and cranny. Seems like it wants to move up to the arms. So let it travel back up and out, down the arms, into the wrists and every little finger and fingernail. Spiritual light. So your whole big bubble all around you, you have been rekindled. Feel us all in the circle of trees, shining brightly in our own energy bodies. one with the pines, the trees, supported by the natural world and the spiritual world. All is one. This is the night when you can trust that any direction you go, you will be walking toward the dawn. This is the night. You've been preparing for this night. Traveling with your eyes closed, feeling the way by memory, by touch, by the pull of the moon, even as it wanes. So believe me when I tell you, a blessing will reach you, even if you have not light enough to read it. It will find you, even though you can't see it coming. You will know the moment of its arising and arriving by your release of the breath that you've been holding so long. A loosening of the clenching in your hands, of the clutch around your heart. A thinning of the darkness that has drawn itself around you. This blessing does not mean to take away the night, but it knows its hidden roads. It knows the resting spots along the path. It knows what it means to travel in the company of a friend. So when this blessing comes, take its hand. Get up. Set out on the road you cannot see. Because this is the night when you can trust that any direction you go, you will be walking toward the dawn. So feel ourselves. Now the sun has risen. The dawn is here. Find our group traveling once again, slowly and gently out of the clearing, 2 by 2. Feet crunching in the snow, sun shining at our backs. Until you travel back into the room where you are, thanking the community of this gathered sacredness, and gently, slowly return to the screen.